Adjusted EPS was ahead. Comps up 26.5. Digital 3x. I wonder why you think the shares are reacting the way they are. Certainly, the guidance was not as specific as maybe some had hoped.
Yeah, it's difficult to give guidance in this environment, Carl. We have our earnings call next after I finish up here. We'll be talking to analysts and investors throughout the day, so I'll have a better sense for what concerns, if anything, they might have. But we feel incredibly good about the quarter, everything we've accomplished in this difficult time. And those numbers are leading. I mean, in the sense we're gaining market share and getting great flow through in the P&L.
Gross margins near 30 in a obviously business that is famous for weak margins. Are promotions essentially disappearing because of the stability of demand?
Carl, it was, if you go back earlier in the year, fiscal year, say March, April, May, we had to cut down those promotions because you just didn't have the supply you needed to do it right. And you never want to disappoint a customer with a great promotion. Now, as we went into Memorial Day, you bring back those promotions. And as we get into the big holidays, you bring back those promotions, which is exactly what we're doing. And I'll tell you that in several areas, important areas like fresh, produce, meats, et cetera, we're starting to see a lot more stability in supply. And you'll see us doing more promotions on some of those. And then there are some other areas that remain constrained, like sanitizers, where the supply constraints continue to remain, and we'll promote less. But our principle is to give value to customers through our promotions.
Vivek, Jim Cramer, good to see you.
Hey, Jim.
Okay. I see the brand. We have the brands on the wall. They're all famous brands. Yeah. I understand that you're taking share. And if you're taking share, I have to believe it's from a Kroger, a Costco, a Target, a Walmart, not just the mom and pops. And that will be come the fall when I think that more people are even not be able to go out because the tables outside will disappear, that this could be a fabulous time for you. You're energized. You've got the right merchandise. And I think a lot of these companies are ripe for the picking.
Yeah, Jim, you know, our strategy is very clear. I'm so proud of the team that's executing so well. And you have to think about what's changed. Customers are eating a lot more at home. And when you eat at home, fresh food matters a lot. You want the best produce. You want your choices of meat. You want to have everything in a store that you can cook everything you need at home. And that plays to our strengths. We put a lot of energy over many years building those capabilities, and that plays to our strengths. And you know, I hope things get better for the country around this virus in the next several months. But as long as people continue to eat at home, you'll see elevated sales in grocers like us.
Now, you know, Vivek, I came out pretty strongly on Mad Money, talking about how this is there's a grave mispricing here. Not a lot of pure supermarkets out there, and we've seen Kroger just explode because they've got fresh. You've got fresher. And maybe it's just because there were two times that you tried to come public, which wasn't you, third time a charm. But this thing could be radically mispriced versus the competition.
I like to think so, Jim. And, you know, we believe in consistency and performance. And I take a long-term view in all this. And if we do the right things for the customer, keep our associates excited and happy, and we do the right things for them, things will work through. It'll flow through. One of the things you saw in our release is the flow through in our P&L, which is so robust. And that talks to me about the health of the business, not just the performance, but the overall health of the business. Our e-commerce business is growing too, tremendously. Again, it's about the health of the business. So in the long term, I feel it will get to the value that we deserve.
Well, Vivek, talking about that long term, how much of what you're seeing now as a result of the virus is sustainable in your business after the pandemic passes? I think that's got to be one of the key questions investors are trying to answer.
Yeah, David, there are elements of the business that are around performance. So, you know, it's hard to, in this environment, you really cannot look at just the absolute numbers and be comfortable. You've got to look at relative numbers. And the relative numbers give you like market share, and that gives you a sense of how you're performing versus the others. And so that is good. And so I take from that our strategy and execution are sound.